The original Heartbreak High was an Australian-made television series depicting teenage life in New South Wales, running from 1994 to 1999, and recently it's had an upgrade. The 2022 Netflix reboot landed on screens and into the hearts of young Australians. People aged 18 to 24 years consume most of their media on devices other than a television, but are more likely to watch on mobile devices and laptops. And since Gen Z is inclusive of anyone born between the years 1997 and 2012, they are the generation most likely to consume streaming services on such devices. Thus, when the reboot Heartbreak High was released on Netflix, it was no surprise that it was quickly consumed and went on to become a favourite among young Aussies, reaching number 6 in the rankings of most watched television shows globally on Netflix. Heartbreak High has attained global success due to the way it has effectively blended key aspects of Gen Z and Australian cultures to construct a youthful perspective of the modern Australian identity, giving viewers a taste of what it is to be inherently Australian. The progressive political ideologies of Gen Z shine through this series as audiences follow proud Australian non-binary, gay, asexual and other queer characters. Since Gen Z identity is so intertwined with youth culture, being woke, experimenting with fashion as a means for self-expression, and terminologies such as simp, flop era, pick me, and having a 13th reason all make an appearance in the show. This aspect of Gen Z identities overlaps with that of Australian culture in scenes featuring young Aussies with P-plates, rivalries between public and private schools, essays, and classic red, blue, green, yellow school faction colours.
Nice car, Centrelink.
But it's not just the language of Gen Z and Australian cultures that has resonated with audiences. The show's company reflects Australia's pride for its cultural diversity, as the main cast features minorities in prominent roles and an Indian woman as the lead, with each character being equipped with their own stories and attachments to their culture. Thus, the show has become a cultural commodity, which appeals to a domestic market which audiences recognise, engage with and appreciate as Australian, but can attain success in a global market as they incorporate cross-cultural links to create a strong representation of the Australian identity. To strengthen this identity, Indigenous Australians were present on set and on camera to ensure the representation of First Nations people were respectful and accurate, portraying experiences familiar to those of young Indigenous Australians and even using Noongar words to solidify this attachment to the First Nations Australian identity. So why have the notions of Australian identity been deemed responsible for the success of Heartbreak High? Because it feels real and familiar. We know these characters, we interact with them in our daily lives, we share the same language and land, and it's refreshing to see on screen. It depicts Australia in a way which honours its original custodians and reinforces the strong cross-cultural links that have shaped Australia into the multicultural country it is today. This identity is carried onto younger Australians who possess every opportunity and the youthful optimism needed to succeed in future endeavours, once they make it out of high school, of course.